Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Divorce Made Me Funny. I'm your host, Rheagan, and I hope y'all are having a great week. You're getting over that hump, because it's hump day when this goes out. Haha, I'm so funny. I do want to put a little disclaimer on this episode. I know that my voice currently sounds like this. I have been sick. I mean, air quotes sick. I've just been stopped up all year. I guess God has decided that he doesn't want me to breathe in 2024. I'm totally kidding. But I was sick around New Year's, like I mentioned in the last episode. And then, like when you're recovering from being sick and then you still have a cough and you're still a little stuffy. That was me. And then my allergies got really, really bad. Cedar and pollen were high and I couldn't catch a break. So now I'm currently kind of getting over that. So I totally understand if y'all are like, her voice sounds awful, I can't listen to this. Totally get it. It's totally fine. But I'm going to still going to record and have fun, because who would I be if I didn't put out an episode every Wednesday? I wouldn't know what to do with myself. And obviously, you can tell by the title that we're going to be talking about all things cooking. This was, again, a last minute episode that I'm recording, and I'll get to that story in a second. So before we get into all of it, obviously we got to do the weekly bits. Sorry. I don't know. I'm sure you can't hear that, but someone is running and screaming down the hallway of my apartment right now. But my weekly bits, my bow day, my humbling experience, and my fave/rec. So I'm currently recording this on May. It is not May. It is January 15th. It's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. He's 50, which is crazy. And on Saturday, I went home to Georgetown to go to his birthday party. He invited 200 people. About 150 showed up, and it was like the best party I'd ever been to. It was so crazy. There was a live band. There were drinks, a drink menu that he picked out with fun names to the drinks. There was a photo booth. He invited a few of my friends. We all, got drunk and had fun and celebrated him. And I got to see a lot of people who I hadn't seen in a while, which was fun and nice. And it was just all around a good day. It was a good day celebrating. So I would say that's my beau day. And I don't know. It's fun to celebrate. It's just fun to celebrate people. I love birthdays. I love my birthday. I love other people's birthday. I love all of it. So it was a good day. It was a good birthday. And the band was awesome. I missed the band. It was LC Rocks, I believe, in Austin. I think they're just like a cover band, but apparently they've been around for a really long time and they're great. So I love them. That was my beau day. Just all around beau day. And I wasn't wearing a bow. Was not wearing one. Oh, and another reason why I was like, wait, I'm forgetting a really important part. So many people at that party came up to me and told me how much they love the podcast. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that is crazy that so many of y'all listen to it, because most of them were grown men, my dad's friends. And they were like, we love it. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'll shout a few of them out. Mark Rheagan, my dad's best friend. He literally came up to me and I said hello. And then Allison came with me and I was like, this is my friend Allison. And he was like, oh yeah, you're on the podcast. And she was like, am I famous? And then another friend of his, Michael Frost, they call him Skull Bones. He introduced himself to me as Skull Bones. I was like, I've heard a lot about you. But he loved it. So many people just came up to me and told me they loved it. And I really appreciated it. So thank you guys for listening. I wouldn't assume that you would be my demographic, but here you are. So thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. And thanks for coming to celebrate my dad. Okay, my humbling experience. Y'all. I I can't wait to tell this story. When it happened to me, I was like, this is going on the pod. It was awful. It was one of the, and I don't care, like it was one of the worst things I experienced. All right. So, it was on Thursday. On Thursday, I went to trivia and then I came home and I was walking from my garage to my apartment. And it's not a far walk. It's like 2 doors down from the entrance of the garage, if that makes sense. And I was just walking and I had noticed there was like dog shit in the hallway, like sprinkles of it, I guess. And I like was like, ugh, someone's dog took a shit on the floor. Like, that's disgusting. Like, why didn't they pick it up? Going to my apartment. I'm lollygagging. I'm putting my like stuff up. I'm getting ready. I was packing for, Georgetown. So I was doing that and lollygagging. And I just started to smell the dog shit in my apartment. And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm looking around. It's all over my kitchen floor. It's like tracked. And I was like, it was nasty. It was disgusting. And I was like, I don't remember stepping in it. And it wasn't that much. Like, I was like, where did this shit come from? Literally. And I opened my door to look at, I'm like, where did I miss it? I don't see it anywhere in the hallway. Then I look down. It's on my fucking doormat. Someone's dog took a shit on my doormat and they left it. And I just wasn't paying attention because my doormat, has like wording, like black wording on it. So like, it was hidden. And I was like, oh my God. So I, picked it up and I've dealt with dog shit before. Like, I have a dog, Bella. Bella literally like got sick and like went all over my closet once and I like stepped in it barefoot and that didn't gross me out like as much as this one did. Like, I threw up like while I was picking it up. It must be like because it's someone else's dog and like you don't love that dog, so you're like, fuck this dog. Like, this dog can go to hell for all like there's a special place in hell for this dog and their owner. And I remember I had my AirPods in and I was talking to my friend Emma and I started like gagging and I was like, you need to hang up because I don't know where my phone is. And unless you want to hear me like throw up, you got to hang up. It was just nasty. And it took me like it took me a while to clean it up because it was y'all, it was everywhere. I'm like, how many steps? I guess I literally was just walking around everywhere. It was so fucking gross. And then I went to go throw away my doormat. And I yelled something down the hallway that I probably shouldn't have yelled. So I'm going to pretend that I yelled this instead. I was like, whose ever dog took a shit on my doormat, you can go to hell. We'll say I said that. It's not what I said though. And I was just like really frustrated because who does that? Like, for real. Like, if you live in an apartment and your dog took a shit on someone else's doormat and you didn't pick it up, you're the worst. Sorry, I've experienced it and you are. It's the worst. You're the worst. And I forgot where I was going with this. I'm like, why didn't you just throw the doormat away? Like, you didn't even have to leave a note. If I came home and was like, oh, my doormat's missing, I don't think I would have been as angry as I was just then. I wouldn't have been as angry as I was with dog shit on it. And it was a cute doormat, so now I don't have a doormat. And I'm like, who does that? Who does it? So let me know, if you know who did it. Even though none of y'all know where I live, unless like you know me in real life. But I'm just like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Oh my God, y'all. I was so mad. And whatever, you know what? But it was humbling though, because I haven't had to do that in a while. And I was just like, it made me so mad. So like, fuck you. That's all I have to say. It was awful. On to lighter notes, my fave/rec is definitely, now I'm like totally switching gears and I'm happy again, is definitely the new Ari single, Yes and. Like, Y'all know I love Ariana Grande, like, more than anything. And it's been, like, 3 years since she dropped a song. And I was like, thank God I needed this. It grew on me. At first, when I was listening to it, I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I don't like it. And then I was like, okay, wait, I actually do. Kind of takes me a little bit sometimes. Like when Seven Rings first came out, I was listening to it, I remember with Katie, and I told Katie that I hated that song. I was like, I hate Seven Rings. And now it's all I listen to. So if you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend it. And if you don't like it, just don't tell me. Thank you. All right. That wraps up our weekly bits. Hope you enjoyed those. Okay. Cooking on a budget. I had a different episode planned for this week. It was supposed to be my brother and I, but he didn't do anything, actually. It was me. We just didn't have time to record it this weekend. And I got home and I realized that I hadn't recorded an episode. And I was like, shit. Because I like to have them, pre-recorded so I don't have to, like, feel rushed in the week to, get it written and recorded. And literally this morning I thought of, okay, cooking. I can talk about that, because I'm sure everybody struggles with cooking. I don't know. I'm just going to talk about that. So had to have a change of plans. Thanks a lot, Reese. So I'm just going to talk about what I do when I cook. And where I go, what I buy, how I do it, share my current favorite recipes, all the things. We're just going to get into it. So it's no secret that eating well doesn't have to be expensive. I think a lot of people think that it is, and so they justify it'll cost me this much money to, make a meal at home when I could just spend $10 at Chick-fil-A and get like a meal. And it's like, yeah, but depending on like the portion sizes and all of that, it could cost you $10 to make like 3 servings of said meal, if that makes sense. If my math is mathing, I don't know. Like, you get it. Like, for example, ginger shots. I think I talked about this last week, just in the money realm, because it's fresh on my mind. I would spend $30 for 6 ginger shots from this place called Pressed. And then I made them at home and I spent $9 and made 6 shots. So it's like, it's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper to cook at home. And now I have actually officially started 75 hard. So, I'm sticking to a diet and I'm, eating at home. There's no eating out for me for the next 75 days. Well, if I do, I have some dinners planned and whatnot, but mindfully eating, you get what I'm saying. Anyway. But yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive. And I think that's a common misconception. Now, if you buy expensive ingredients, it's going to be more expensive. But I feel like if you do it right, it's not. One of my favorite places to shop is Trader Joe's. I'm a boring basic hoe, and I go to Trader Joe's. But I think it's so affordable. Anytime I've gone anywhere else to grocery shop, I spend more. So obviously, if you're like a mother who's listening to this and you have more, or like anyone who has more mouths to feed than one, yeah, your grocery bill is going to be a little bit higher than mine. But every time I go to Trader Joe's and I get like the basics, like when I meal plan and know what I need, I never spend more than $60. Now, if I go hungry and I don't have a meal plan for the week, then yeah, I'm going to spend a little bit more. But even then, it's never more than $100. So I don't know what you qualify as an expensive grocery bill, but to me, 50 to 60 or like the 50 to 70 range is like pretty normal and ideal. Because when I go, I don't overbuy, or I try not to. So I get 2 to 3 dinners to make. if I'm planning on eating from home like the entire week now, like sometimes I know I won't eat. Like I have to now, but I used to never eat dinner at my house on Tuesdays. I'd go eat at the movie theater. So like and I knew I didn't eat on Thursdays because I was going to trivia. I just kind of knew if I was going to be eating out or not. But I usually get, enough things to make 3 meals. And it's usually it's usually salmon. I love cooking salmon. I think it's the easiest, but it's usually like a protein with a vegetable and like a healthy carb. Right now, that's like the plan right now. But obviously before, like, it was just whatever meal I wanted to cook that week. And then I get something to meal prep for lunches to take to work. And usually that is something like a salad. So I get like a bunch of ingredients and I'll meal prep like 5 salads or 4 or 3, like, unless I want to go and eat lunch somewhere. But it's usually a salad, or it's I'm am careful with what I make, and I'll take my leftover like dinner for lunch the next day. Now, if I make salmon, I will not. I do not put salmon in the microwave at work. I did that once in our old office, and nobody yelled at me for it, thank God, but it was not good. I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I did that. And then our coworker, one of our other ones, he did the same thing like a year later, and he got so much hate for it, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do that anymore. So I don't do, like, I knew what I did when I did it, and I was like, I shouldn't have done it, but I did it anyway. So if I know I want to take something to work, like, I make sure it's like chicken or a different kind of meal that won't like make everyone want to die around me. And then I usually get I never wake up in time to eat breakfast like on a weekday because I have to be at work before I get like hungry. I don't really get hungry until like mid-morning, like 9-10 a.m. and at that point I'm already at work. But I'll get like eggs, to eat on the weekends, or I usually meal prep these protein balls. Like, I'm just trying to explain like what I buy at the grocery store. I've been doing like yogurt parfaits recently. That's been good. I just like am mindful of like what I'm buying. Like, I'm not picking up everything that sounds good in sight. And I also get, because I'm at Trader Joe's, I get like a few basic frozen meals to have like on hand if there's like a night where I just don't want to cook, or I don't have anything, and that's something that I can just, pop in the microwave or the air fryer or the oven, like whatever the instructions are. So I do that. And yeah, I usually also follow like usually before I go to the grocery store, I look on like Instagram and TikTok and to see if there is like a new recipe I want to try. And there are a few people that I like love to follow. So on Instagram, I follow this woman. I can probably look. It's the Trader Joe's 5 items or less. This is like specific to Trader Joe's, but honestly, you could probably get them at like any grocery store now, because you know how like every grocery store is having like, they have their own like kind of personalized thing. Like, the Trader Joe's orange chicken, like you can get orange chicken some like at a different grocery store if you don't go to Trader Joe's. But this is just specific to Trader Joe's. And it's this woman who will post on Instagram like different meals, and they're 5 items or less. So if you plan on going to the grocery store, like, you'll spend less money because these recipes only have 5 ingredients. And she actually also has a cookbook. I'm holding it up right now if you're watching on YouTube. I think you can get it on Amazon. I got it for Christmas. last year or the year before. But yeah, it's just like, different lunches, breakfast, dinner, like all these meals that are literally 5 items or less. And I've made a lot of them in here, and they're all very good. They, aren't gross. And she has them broken down into, I think, like, obviously breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then like like protein, so like chicken, seafood, and then like meatless. So I highly recommend it. And like, you don't even have to get this cookbook. It's all on Instagram. I don't know if she has a TikTok, but I really do love this book. And I think it's helped me a lot with not spending like a ton of money at the grocery store. And it's helped me just, dial it back a little bit. It's not that serious. Because usually when I cook something that is a little bit more, complex, I get stressed out anyway. I'm like, I just need something easy. And then another like person I follow, if you're needing people to follow, is Jen Eats Good on TikTok. And that's like Jen with 2 N's, and then Eat like Good is 3 O's. And she's on TikTok, and I follow her like $50 budget series, where she takes a $50 grocery bill and turns it into 5 meals. And they end up being like 10 servings, because I think it's 2 servings for each meal. And I did it once, like where I got the full grocery, like the full list, and made everything on it. And everything was really good, because she does like a mix of things. And I was waiting until I saw a grocery bill with like everything I liked, because she also like will use the same ingredients as what am I trying to do? What am I trying to say? The same ingredients as like previous meals. So like they kind of all intertwine with one another, and you end up using everything. So there's also no food waste, because I know I also really struggle with that. And she's she also goes to Trader Joe's. So, but all of those ingredients aren't like, at Trader Joe's. You can get them anywhere. So I think that's also a good place to start. Now, as for like the dollar amount, I'm sure that is specific to Trader Joe's. I've never done it at like a different grocery store, so I wouldn't know. But if you do that, let me know. But those are really the 2 accounts that I follow where I get like kind of my everyday or my every week inspo. And then if I want to do like more elaborate meals, I definitely follow Kristen Faith Eats. I know it's Kristen Faith. I don't know if her handle is Eats. But she is this TikToker. I found her on TikTok. I'm not sure where, like, if that's where she started. Oh, sorry. That's where she actually started. But the way she, like, makes her videos are just, like, so satisfying. And it's, like, elegant. And it's, like, I don't know. It's just, like, fun to watch, too. I made 1 meal from her, and it's a little bit more complex. Like there's like, it's not like a quick, easy meal. It's just like, it's definitely more like drawn out. So it's not like an every weeknight kind of a meal. But it's great, and I highly recommend it. There's also a girl who does Soups Don't Suck, which I've been seeing a lot of them because we've been doing Super Sunday for the past couple months for football season. So there's that. I was trying to think of other like Instagram handles in case anybody here is in need of food influencers to follow. But there's so many out there. And even now, like that TikTok is more like Pinterest, where it's like basically a search engine. Like whenever I look for something, I don't go to Google, I go to TikTok. I'm like, book recs, recipe ideas, that kind of thing. And there's so many out there. There's also this one guy who does the cooking in my dorm room. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl actually, but that video or his account stresses me out because he's like literally like on his bed, like in his dorm room, and he's like watching a movie every single time, and he's like cooking these like lobster bisque in his bed, and I'm like, that's nasty. I don't even want to know what your bed actually looks like. It's crazy. I'm like, could not be me. But if I also don't find anything on, the internet for inspo, I also have like a ton of cookbooks that I have sitting right here that I am happy to share. I got this one for Christmas. It's insanely easy chicken dinners. I haven't actually tried any yet because it's only January 15th. But all of these look delicious, and I am also very like terrified to cook chicken. It just kind of freaks me out that like you can like mess that up. But there have been I'm trying to find the one that I really wanted to try. I can't do that one. Oh, they have spicy jerk chicken. I just have to make sure it follows my meal plan for 75 hard. But like honey sriracha chicken thighs. See, but it takes 6 hours. I'm like, no, that's a lot. But yeah, it's all these recipes that I'm excited to try out. Ranch chicken and rice. That looks good. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. But I'm excited to try this one out. I'm trying to look at other cooking. I brought all my cookbooks out so I wouldn't forget any. I also have a Cooking Through Trader Joe's cookbook. Again, obviously, this is more Trader Joe's based, but these are way more elaborate than the 5 items or less. Like these are like legit real deal meals that take a while. Like I did this one. I did this salmon Caesar salad, and that you would think that sounds, quick and easy. It wasn't. For some reason, maybe I'm just stupid and didn't get it, but like it took me a while to do it. They also have this they had these honey sriracha cauliflower wings that I tried to do. I didn't do a good job, but I mean they were good. They were spicy. But they have like all these fun recipes. And this one they have like they do breakfast, lunch, appetizers, dinners, and desserts. And then they also do drinks because Trader Joe's does have like a lot. They have a pretty good alcohol selection. I feel like this is just a Trader Joe's hype episode. I'm sorry, you guys. But like the $2 Chuck wine, even though I don't think it's $2 anymore, it's good. It's not bad. So don't let anybody make you feel bad if you buy the $2 Chucks because they're like the, what's the car brand of that like rich and poor people drive? I don't know. I can't think of it. I think Cody Ko and Noel Miller said it on like That's Cringe, and that's why I'm thinking of it. But I also have the 131 method. This is like a weight loss meal plan, and you have to follow it, to get the results. And I did for the first 4 weeks, but I lost weight. But it was just getting kind of difficult because they make you drink bone broth. It was so fucking gross. It was nasty, but the recipes were really good. So, I'm definitely going to be looking through this, when I'm, what's it called? Going through 75 hard. Cause it's not going to be easy. It's called 75 hard for a reason. And then I thought I would also talk about, I was about to say in the episode, because this is like the last section I have. But talk about like my favorite meals at the moment. And then kind of end it. So really any meal or anytime I go to the grocery store, I feel like I always make like salmon, a vegetable, and then like a carb. It's usually like asparagus and sweet potato or any salmon rice bowl. I love. I before I started doing this, I used to eat that Emily Mariko like salmon rice bowl thing, where she like uses day old like not day like old salmon, but like salmon, leftover salmon, and then rice, and she like would mash it together with like sriracha, mayo, and soy sauce, and she'd eat it with like those seaweed wraps. That was always a good lunch or a good dinner. It was so good. And I would get these, I think they were like barbecue flavored seaweed wraps. Like they weren't the normal ones, and they were like kind of sweeter. I think it's barbecue or teriyaki. Teriyaki. I'm stupid. Not barbecue. Teriyaki. Those were so good. I've been on a big adult Lunchable kick. Y'all, do not hate on the adult Lunchables until you try them. I love it. Usually what I do is, you got to get some kind of protein in there. So I like to do those chomp beef sticks. I like the red ones. I've only tried the red and the gray ones. I did not like the gray one. It was just, I don't know why, but the red ones are good, and I haven't tried any other flavor. Or something else, like this week I did Green Goddess chicken salad. I got that from TikTok, and that is so good. I put it in like a little lettuce wrap. Oh, it was so good. It was delicious. So there's that. And then you get, some kind of like vegetable, I guess, or carrots, vegetables. My laptop is right in front of me. Let me Google that. Is carrot a vegetable? Yes, it's a root vegetable. I should have known that, but I didn't. It's okay. But I'll usually get like carrots and like hummus or pita bread or something of the sorts, and it's so good. And then I've also been putting like a mozzarella ball on a like toothpick with a tomato, with like a little, what are those baby tomatoes called? Are they called baby tomatoes? Grape tomatoes. And then like putting balsamic glaze like on top, and then like having like a mini caprese. Is it caprese or caprese salad? Bite. It's so good. I get that. And sometimes when I have basil, I'll use the basil. And then I've done like the, ants on a log, but I don't like raisins, so I use chocolate chips. So it's like celery, peanut butter, chocolate chips. And then like a handful of like, nuts. Like I like the everything but the bagel, almonds and cashews from Trader Joe's. But they are so good, and they're so filling. Like sometimes it's a pain in the butt to like assemble them, but once you do, it's like so good. And there's so many like different ways you can make it, and there's like so many different like substitutes that you can like trade out for like what you like on them. So like I highly recommend it. I love homemade tomato soup. I have made it a few times now. The thing with me is that whenever I plan to make those like elaborate meals I was talking about, they're usually such a big serving, like where I'm eating it for days. And then you get tired of it, so you can't, eat it again for a while. But the tomato soup one is something that I don't get tired of. I've made it a few times now, and it's just so good. But then I'm eating it for like 5 days after, so I get it like once every couple months. But Emma made one for Super Sunday I guess at this point it was a couple months ago. And it was so good. It's better than the way I usually, like the texture of it was better. And I'm like, I wonder what I did wrong. But But obviously before 75 hard, you eat that with the grilled cheese. Oh my God, y'all, it was so good. I remember one time I made like this meatball soup, and everybody thinks that's weird, but it wasn't. It was delicious. And it made such a big, like, it was such a big, you know, serving. I mean, not like a serving size, but like a big serving of it. And I was eating it for 5 days straight because it made so much. And I was like, I can't eat this meatball soup ever again because it's all I ate for 5 straight days. And I'm sure you're probably thinking, like, Rheagan, why don't you just like do the math and like have it work for you and only make like 2 servings instead of a billion? And I was like, well, then you got to do your own math. And who the fuck wants to do that? Tell me. Hit me up and let me know if you actually like to do math for fun, because then I would have you do math for me. And then another one that I love but, can't make right now is Gigi pasta. I know that has been a thing for like 4 years now, but I love it. It's so easy to make and it's so good. We started making it in college. It's like my comfort meal. Like when I want to like think about the past, I'm like, oh, let's make Gigi pasta and zucchini chips. And then, bread. So good. I know Allison Goldsberry is probably like, I love this meal. Every time she comes over for dinner, she's like, can we make Gigi pasta? And I'm like, sure, girl. So usually when people come over, I make them Gigi pasta. Or if you're Megan came over actually last week, and I made this I saw it on TikTok. It was like this waffle iron tofu salad thing. And it would not cook the tofu for me. I don't know if it was my waffle maker or what. So I had to last minute throw everything in the air fryer, and then it wasn't cooking the way I wanted it to. I didn't make the tahini dressing right. Everything was going wrong, and I just didn't like it. Megan said it was delicious though, but sometimes see when those new meals that you think are going to be easy end up being hard, and you're like, oh my God, my life is awful. I get it happens, and it's usually the ones that you think are going to be easy, and then they're not. So tread lightly, I guess. But another one is a sushi bake. You can find those, everywhere. Those are so good. It's rice. And then I think you get a mix of salmon and imitation crab, and you mix that with mayo, sriracha, soy sauce, maybe cream cheese probably. And then you top it with or you put seaweed wraps somewhere, or seaweed snacks on them, or I don't know. But those are so good as well. I think those are all around my go-to meal. But at the end of the day, gun to my head, it's always a salmon, a vegetable, and a rice or a sweet potato. Those are I'm making that tonight actually, right after I sign off on this. And I'm starving right now, so I think I am going to end this episode so I can eat. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening for my little cooking on a budget. I hope I helped. I just kind of started talking and let the episode go where it needed to go. But hopefully I will have some more guests on soon, so y'all don't have to just listen to me talk. Hopefully you like to listen to me talk, but sometimes it can get pretty okay, this bitch won't shut up. Anyway. But again, thank you guys so much for listening. If you have any cooking recipes or any ideas that you want to share, please reach out to me and share them, because I would love to hear them. I'm always looking for new recipes and new things to try. So I would really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope your weekend is full of bow days. I hope you just have a minor humbling experience, not a major one like I had this past week. And do me a favor and go listen to Yes and by Ariana Grande. All right. I hope y'all... I'm signing off. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Bye.